Hello, today we are going to take an early look at the Loping Planes. This is one of the more popular zones to be hunting monsters in. It has a good selection of quests, a good variety of monsters, and thus there's a good chance that many of the named will not be up when you're out and about, but we're going at a pretty prime part of the day. But we're still going to at least try. We're going to move down east, then double back. This top half of the zone tends to have the weaker monsters, whereas this area over here is all pretty much max level stuff. And there's a spider over here we might try to find as well. But we will try our luck and see what we find. Kind of a fun zone, all related to Mistmore that's raid zone attached. There's werewolves and different undead and whatnot. Just kind of your basic, somewhat spooky style zone. If you come here at night, you actually get a curse that gives you both a buff and a debuff. Kind of a fun little deal. One of the nice parts, though, is most of the named are only one-ups like this fella. We'll pull him off his rock, despite the fact he's attached, or that there's a ton of other bats around. He's not actually attached to him, so pulling from a distance, you can get him by himself. Or, well, we got one head. There's a few really popular pieces that can drop, max health, ability mod, and such. Your basic casting speed, 38 stat, which is about the most you're going to get on a regular named monster. Alright, let's see. This one, as you can see, someone's camping it. The reason you would generally find people trying to camp the named here Maximilian is he will drop a max health necklace, which is real popular. I think they're going for a little over 1 platinum right now. So it is often a camp named. Now we're going to check the tracker, mostly to avoid having to go all the way down into the water, but there's possibly one in the water that doesn't appear to be up. It's named that Awu, or however it's said. We'll give it a second location to track from. Maybe we'll get lucky. Yep, there he is. He is here. So we will jump into the water and go after him. He is a named goblin. Go ahead and put on our underwater breathing so we don't drown trying to find this guy. Yeah, there we go. I'm not a big fan of how the underwater fighting works in EverQuest, but mostly since I'm using a pet class, the things can move randomly while in a three-dimensional space such as this. Alright, let's see what we got out of him. We got another casting speed item. If I had not gotten all the gear from doing the quests in Lesser Fadark, most of this would be upgrades. But thankfully, the gear from Lesser Fadark is about the same stats as what you'll find on the easier named here. The triple ups can drop some pretty insane stuff, but they are much more difficult to handle. We're going to head along this river. Now, what we're looking for along this river is a named wolf. I believe his name's Chog or something to that extent. He usually stands out as he's the only monster just roaming directly up and down the edge of this river. I believe there's actually a named in that camp as well, but I have not seen it yet on this server. Oh, well, grab a shiny since we're in the area. Always remember to grab these shinies, and I personally would say don't don't add them to your collection until you see if they're valuable, because one out of every set usually is significantly more valuable than the rest. And the little bit of experience you get for completing a collection might not be worth losing out on a plat or two because you used up the good item. The actual spawn location for this guy is up here. See Chog. He does not appear to be up as well. Not surprising given it's a popular time. Still, we've gotten 2 named, and there's one more fairly easy one to check, although it's kind of a weird double situation. You'll see that I have quest mobs I should be killing at some point, and I will. I found recording the questing to be less interesting overall. Most people know how to do these quests. They're basic kill quests or find quests, things like that. The named I would like to look for here is in this little camp of gremlins. There's a possibility of 2 named gremlins in the middle. Yep, there they are. Alright, so if I do this right, we won't get the whole group. If I don't, we'll get the whole group. Alright, there's one. Yeah, I think we got away. Yeah, we got away without pulling most of them. I guess we are slowly but surely going to get the rest of them. Ooh, I might have got myself in a bit of trouble. My poor little fire pet's barely hanging on. Alright, what did we get out of this? Mitigation. Alright. So the last one we're going to check is going to be for this spider. Now it spawns in multiple locations. So if you don't have tracking, it can be time consuming to even look for various reasons, because there's a lot of just random monsters hanging out in the area. Well, that is a name, but red, we're going to leave it alone. This 72 triple up is up right now. We will keep an eye out for this bee named zombie on our way to the spider. It's pretty rare to see up, and it doesn't actually drop anything very good that I recall. I think it starts a quest though, so there is always that. Questline mobs are always interesting, and he'd be probably good for AA. But nothing we're super concerned with, so we will stop and do one more look to see if he's on the tracker. Appears not. Okay, so what we're going to try to do, we'll go somewhat close to one of these camps where he can spawn, and we will up and down. It's pretty easy to spot because everything else is A or An something, whereas if it has a name, it just has its name. And you can also see spider web, so you know you're in the right general location. It does wander. Oddly, I guess you'd call it a wandering spider. And this is what I meant. There's, as you can see, there is animals all over this place. So just trying to look around for this particular name can be a pain. And I think that is the 2, yeah, it only has the 2 locations. So we didn't find it, so we'll take our shiny and call that one run. As you saw, we got this named. This one wasn't up. We got this one. This one was not up. We got this one. And this one was not up. So about half of what we looked for was up on this one run. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll do probably a part 2 later where we get the higher named when I hit max level. Feel free to like and subscribe.